Hi, I'm Dr. Brad Allen. I have a question. Do you want to suffer more, die sooner, pay higher healthcare costs? If so, you must be a fan of the Inflation Reduction Act. This bill is typical for how career politicians lie their way into making your life worse by promising to make it better, when in reality, all they're doing is buying your vote. They tell you this bill will reduce the cost of prescription drugs by allowing Medicare to dictate prices. In other words, price controls. But as a doctor, I know the disastrous consequences of price controls in medicine. It's going to do to our healthcare what these same career bureaucrats did for us at the gas station and supermarket, and you know how that worked out. As a surgeon, I never want to make the cure worse than the disease. It appears career politicians don't have these concerns. A University of Chicago study found that these price controls will reduce drug research and development by hundreds of billions of dollars, leading to a tremendous reduction in new medicines, resulting in a loss of 330 million life years. That's more than 30 times the loss of life years from COVID-19. People are going to die sooner. And you're going to pay more for medical services because we won't have these new drugs to treat your disease. A 2005 study came to similar conclusions, predicting that drug price controls would cost society around 28 times any savings. So with the Inflation Reduction Act, drugs may be cheaper, but you're going to pay more in healthcare costs for the privilege of suffering more and dying sooner. And if you doubt these studies, you need only look at what happened to drug development in Europe after they introduced price controls. Europe went from leading the United States in drug development in 1990 to late-stage funding being just 3% of the level in the United States by 2019. Currently, more than 80% of the drugs in the world's pipeline today emerge in the United States, and almost half of those are for cancer or heart disease. These are not small diseases. And if this wasn't enough, the bill doesn't even address any of the fundamental reasons why drugs are expensive. There are many ways we could reduce the price of prescription drugs without the consequences inherent in price controls. But as is typical with career politicians, they couldn't be bothered to actually solve the underlying problem, just put a Band-Aid on it. History shows that price controls almost never work. As stated years ago, using price controls is like responding to cold weather in Winnipeg by breaking the thermometer. It doesn't make it warmer, but it's worse than that. When a government controls prices, it leads to supply issues, in this case, drug shortages. But breaking thermometers is usually what happens when we let career professional politicians fix healthcare. Amazingly, these bureaucrats are already on the campaign trail telling you that if you send them back to Washington, they'll do more of the same, as though none of these consequences exist. If I practiced surgery like that, I'd be out of business. So why do we let them run our healthcare, or for that matter, our lives in general? Why do we keep voting for the same people who got us here? We need to remember what Ronald Reagan called the 9 scariest words in the English language. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. If you'd like more details on this, you can visit my website, www.drbradalan.com. That's drbradallen.com. And if you agree with me, I hope you'll support me and vote for me. Thank you very much.